Hey everyone, this is Jechta, please. Today I'm going to do a little bit like a smaller tutorial about how to make a vase. Now there are probably like a lot of like different solutions or ways to do it. In the past, I have been approaching this differently in dreams. But yeah, I'm just like want to show you one of my techniques that I'm using to make certain objects, and in this case, a vase. So, before we begin, like you always know from me, I start with grid, and this is a very important step now, especially if you want to paint the vase simultaneously on all sides. If you want to use, for example, kaleidoscope or anything, so you can like do decorations on your vase. So put grid on, because it's a very important step to do that. All right, so we have here. I will start with always with a. It doesn't really matter. Let's start with a cylinder and put the cylinder like this on the grid, and make it a little bit bigger, as big as possible as you can, and then make like the cylinder a little bit small so it's becoming a bottom. So now we will stamp it in place, and we're going outside of the scene. Make sure you did not like touch this in any different direction in the start, because that will mess up later on with your kaleidoscope and mirroring options. To show you, if you go to the guides and put on mirror mode, you can see that the mirror is now exactly in the middle. Now if you accidentally move the object to the side, to the left or the right, you will notice that the mirror mode is off center, and that will make very hard in the end to do easy painting and decorating on your vase, in this case the vase. So be careful with this. Just make sure that the mirror mode is in the center. If it's not, just realign it until it is in the center, or just start over if you accidentally moved it. Just make sure in the start that this is done like this. Okay, I'm going to remove the other part. Now that we have like a circle, this is not going to be the vase, but this is our starting point to make the vase possible. So I'm going to scope in again, and like now, I'm turning off mirror mode just for now. We're going to use that later on. Well, we can stay the mirror. Let's do the mirror mode on. That's easier. So keep the mirror mode on, and then go to shapes, and all the way in the back you see here, all the way to the right you see here curve. Now click on that curve, and now we get like like a square, and if you hold L1 and press triangle, press square, then you would get into like the edit mode of that shape. And now we can just like drag down, like drag and hold R2, of course, if you're already familiar with dreams. Then drag it all the way up. I'm going a little bit like this, and then just make sure um, everything is lined on that group. So now we have like two like identical straight lines, right? But that's not what we want, at least not to make the vase. So I'm going back into the edit mode. We have not stamped it yet. Make sure you not stamp it in the scene, because like once you have stamped this in the scene, you cannot edit the shape anymore. So don't stamp it yet. Like, but you will get like this here, once you're going to edit in the first time. So we have here like a straight line. Make sure everything is still in grid. So we need the grid, otherwise it will look very like not round or anything. So I'm going to pull this one a little bit to the side, and this is basically like telling you where you want to have the bottom of the vase. And if you can use your imaginary, you can maybe already see it already have that like shape of the vase, right? But then we need, of course, to do the rest as well. So we need to put it like this here, and whoops, and then maybe it really depends on what kind of shape the vase you want to make. Like, you can do like a bigger belly, or make more like a Greek vase. A Greek vase has that really sticking out bottom, and then go straight back to all the way to the bottom. And so it really depends on what kind of shape of vase you kind of want to have. In my case, I am working on a new project. Well, it's not really a new project, but it's a project that is got extended. So I'm going to make, like in this case for me, an Oriental-ish kind of vase. So I need to have it more elegant, since Oriental vases are a little bit elegant. So it has like a little bit like an elegant curve. So I think this is fine. And then we're going for the mouth. It's going to be a little bit more open. I think this is the right shape. Now we can stamp it into place. There we go. And to make sure that everything is in the center of the object, like this is very important for later on. To make sure that it looks like yeah, that is like it's exactly in the center of the mirror. Now this is going to be very tricky. I have been like a lot of like tricky tricky things with this one. So I'm not saying that this will like work in one go. If not, just try it a few times, because I had to try it a few times myself. Because like dreams is a little bit tricky with this part. So we go, since we are in mirror mode, we only have to do one side basically. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab this side, this left side, with holding L1 and press R2. So we should now. I don't see it. Oh, okay. I think 1 sec. I think I need to lower a little bit my quality here. Even though it's 1%, so that's weird. I don't know why it wasn't. Okay, there we go. For some reason, it was not showing up. Okay, so grab, like hold your camera a little bit like this, because I think that this is the only way to get it done. And then grab one of those things, and then turn this new shape that you're copying. Don't release R2 yet. So you still need to hold R2, and with the left stick, we're going to. Oh, sorry, not with the left stick. With the right stick. No, with the. Now we're going to hold L2. Sorry, I'm. It's normally it's like muscle memory, but it's hard to tell which buttons I'm pressing. So while you're holding R2, press and hold L2 also, and then like tap with the left stick a little bit like this. So I think, yeah, like this. Now you can look, release L2 again, but still we need to hold R2, and then press left on your controller a lot, and just make sure that it's all lined up. Oh. And we're going to keep copying this shape as much as possible till we basically don't see like ripples or anything. So now we're going to release R2, and there we have our first half of the vase. So now you can already see that you're having a vase shape, right? In this case, it's going to be a very elegant one, because like I need to Oriental. You can also use this one already for wall for wall kind of stuff, like if you want to place it on a wall or anything, then you don't really need the backside anymore. So, but we are not done yet. At least I'm not done yet. So I'm going back into the sculpt, and we're going to place the camera around here again. Then I'm going to copy this one here again. Do the same technique. Hold L2, tap with your left stick 2 times to the right, and then with the arrow buttons you press as many, so we can get like a clone of everything. Just make sure that you're moving the camera a little bit, like a little bit back, so you know that we are perfectly in the round shape. And I think this is good. So we're going to release it. I'm going out of sight of the scope, and there you have it. There you have your face. So as you can see, this is very simple and very simple. I mean, I hope that with this tutorial, it is kind of a little bit more simple of like how I make like shapes like this. And you can do crazy stuff with this. Like you can make lamps. You can make bottles. You can make vases, of course. So you can make like anything you want with this kind of shape. Now there is like a little bit like a downside sometimes with this. Like sometimes you get like if you want to paint a lot on it, it will cost I think also a little bit more. But it's not Jechta if we're not doing everything with 1%. So since we have the bottom here, you can leave the bottom if you want, but I don't like that, so I'm going to remove this one here. And all we need to do now is go back to the cylinder mode and also turn off mirror. We need to keep the grid on, and all we need to do now is basically make this big again. Oops. And so we have the right size underneath. There we go. And then I'm holding L1 and press a square. So we get into the menu of this particular shape. And all I need to do is do a little bit of subblend. And do it like in the way how you think is good enough. Now this can be tricky. You can also do a hard blend if you don't like the softness in there. But yeah, this is a little bit tricky. But now I'm going to just like pull this a little bit more closer to the object. So we have now a bottom so the pot can stand on. You can even like make this lined up with the rest if you want that too. Oh, there we go. And there we have it. Now we can stamp it in place, and the pot also has now a bottom, as you can see, and it needs a little bit hollow because like technically it also needs a hole if you really want to make it like realistic, because like otherwise water gets under it and it will like float or anything. So but that's like a little bit more detail than necessary. But yeah, this is how you do it, and I will show you why it's so importantly to start with what we start with first with the grid snap, right? Or sorry, with the grid, because now I will show you why that is so important. So let's go back into the pot. Now we can just like remove the grid snap, so we don't need the grid anymore. Then we're going to tools, go to spray paint, and pick a color. I will pick what is a cool color. Let's go for blue. Let's also change the shape. We're going to do a square one. And to make sure that we are in the object, make sure we're going to guides, then press surface snap, so we're actually hitting the surface of this face. Now, if we press kaleidoscope, and we're going back into our to our sculpt, and if we paint, boink, you can see that everything on all sides is getting covered with your painting. This will not happen if you forget the first step of doing everything in grid and make sure that everything is also um, lined up on that grid. If you're forgetting that part, you will never be able to paint in kaleidoscope because like it will not hit the surface on all sides. Very important to know. So make sure you don't forget that step. And if you forget that step, go back to this video at the beginning and just do it like what I did. All right, but now you can just like paint everything you want. Like you can make cool like like funny creations if you want to make your vase very funny or make some decoration. I'm going to make like a Japanese or Oriental kind of vase. So I already make a blue Delft blue one, but I think I'm going more with a little bit brown, an old vase. I think maybe for flowers or anything. But yeah, this is like in 50 minutes how to make a vase, and I hope it was very helpful. I hope that you now know how to make round surfaces like this, and to show you how much the graphics cost. We can now cost 6 because it's very like heavy, but we can of course downscale it a few times. I don't think I have to do it a lot till we reach the 1% again, because that's always my goal with my assets. We're still at 2, and now we are back at 1. So now we have like a 1% vase, and to show you, like I will show you the other one that I made. This is the other one that I made, and it's like this is the real size, by the way, so you can tell that this is like way too big. So to make sure that we have the right like proportion. Now this is always tricky with everyone because like you're making something in dreams, but you have no idea like the proportion. Now I always make my assets like on real life. So if you have like a counter or a closet. Now this is not like a flower oh, it can be a flower vase, but these are like the big like Japanese one. And as you can see, there's like a dragon painted on it with trees, and there's a little bit storytelling on this vase. But as you can see, like this one is way too big for this, at least for what I want. So I'm going. You can do different things. You can go back in grid snap and just like make the size as you want. Um, just see what kind of size you want to go for. I think I want to make it like the size like this. I think that's a cool, nice size. So you can. Is it? It is too big for to put it on table still. But it's not going to be a flower vase. I think it's going to be just like for specimens and what they were using back then. So I think that I'm kind of happy with this size. I will also make like a flower vase that you can actually put on here. Um, I can make a video about that as well if you want. Maybe I'll put it after this video. I will see. But yeah, this is how to make a vase, and um, you don't really have to worry about to make everything like high quality if objects are based on real life proportion, because it's almost like hard to tell from a person's eye unless you're going to zoom in like very like closely. You can see that it's of course like made out of those flecks. And of course what also is very important is of course your settings, like if you want to make like a shiny vase or a more of a metallic one, or like more of dirt, so you're going to use the waxiness a little bit. So there's like a lot of like ways to do your material looking in the vase as well, but that depends on what kind of yeah, what kind of vase are you going for? Are you going for like a flower pot or yeah, and or something like what I'm going for, a little bit more like for specimens. It really depends on where you want to go for, but just make sure that like your settings here are like made that like yeah, make sure that your settings are okay. So yeah, 20 minutes video. I hope you like this tutorial. I will try to make new tutorials. I sometimes forget because I'm so busy with my game, my upcoming game. I hope I can maybe tell a little bit more info next year in 2021 or next year. Let's say 2021. It's almost 21 already. But I will hopefully like put more information in 2021. With a little bit, maybe a little teaser trailer. I don't know. I'm very like excited to show you what I'm actually going to make. It's a big project, so don't expect it anytime soon. I want to make it like a very like good looking game, a fun game, a full length game. So not like a half baked demo, work in progress stuff. Just a full from zero to from A to B. So yeah, that is it. That was the tutorial how to make a face. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just tell me. You can always like leave a comment if you are watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, because I always put my tutorials on Twitch as well. If you have questions, don't feel bad to send me yeah, a question on Twitter, on social media, if you have like questions related on this. So goodbye for now. Bye bye.